Hi Noteboard Gamers, and welcome back to Noteboard Gaming. I'm your host, I'm Mark. Now in today's video we're going to be doing an unboxing, and what are we unboxing? Well, surprisingly, looking around at all this stuff in front of me, we're going to be unboxing the all-in pledge for Frostpunk from Glass Cannon Games, Glass Cannon Studio, should I say, designed by Adam Kwapinski. Now, if you remember, maybe 18 months ago, I previewed this on my channel for the Kickstarter. I played it on TTS with Adam Kwapinski teaching me the game. That's the designer teaching me the game as we played through it on TTS, and absolutely fell in love with it. Frostpunk is, of course, the board game implementation of the Frostpunk PC game. I think it's available on consoles as well, which is this game of kind of continuing cold, hunger, dread, sickness, survival, and politics while you try and feed this massive generator and expand your little city, or your little township, should I say, to help the citizens survive and feed them and clothe them and kind of manage them politically or govern them, should I say, all the while the elements are against you. There are a number of scenarios in the box. And of course, it plays solo. Now, I have absolutely everything here, apart from the big box. There's a big storage box that you can get, and I thought I'd ordered it, but it looks like I hadn't. But also, we'll be looking at the Edge of Kinship miniature as well. Now, this is just kind of a statue miniature, which was sent out quite a few months ago. I've opened it, not really looked at that since then, but the game has literally just arrived at my house as of around about 20 minutes ago. So, without much further ado, let's kind of delve into exactly what you get in the all-in pledge for Frostpunk, the board game, possibly my most anticipated Kickstarter delivery of this year. Because it's now the 28th of December, I won't have time to play this and review it and potentially put it in my top 10 games of the year or solo games of the year. So it'll probably go in next year's top 10 solo games if I enjoy it as much as I did in the preview stage. I have played it once between previewing it and receiving my copy. I played it at UK Games Expo back in June. There was a playable version there, so I played a few rounds of it then. But I'm looking forward to kind of getting this on the table and having some misery, some cold, some hunger, some disease, some fighting, some exploration, some digging the snow happening to me as I play the game. Without much further ado, let me show you exactly what you get in the all-in pledge of Frostpunk, the board game from Glass Cannon Studios, designed by Adam Kwapinski. Okay, so here you can see absolutely everything laid out that you get in the all-in pledge for Frostpunk. We have the Dreadnought expansion, we have the base game, we have the Frostlander expansion, the miniatures expansion, the resource expansion, the Edge of Kinship, a poster, and also the playing mat expansion as well. Now, the problem sometimes when you get all of these all-ins is to know in which order to actually open them in. So we'll start kind of with the playmat, I think, which is this one here. Then we can lay that out on the table, and then we can look at absolutely everything else. There's also some replacement tokens as well, because it looks like some of the tokens in some of the copies were slightly misprinted. So there's 3 replacement tokens there. So let's just move everything out of the way so far, and we'll have a look at the playmat, shall we? And we'll get that on the table so we can see this here, the playmat. Nice Frostpunk tube. Frostpunk box for it. Ooh, nice stitched neoprene as well. So here we go. So there we have the actual playmat for it. And look at that, Frostpunk, the board game. So let's put it that way. There we go, and you can see it's got a nice kind of a nice cold frosty look on there. So that's the playmat that you get for it. It's not massive, as you can see on my table. It fits nicely. Don't get me wrong, the game is a big game, but this is where the kind of central thing is going to happen. You've got your main tile there, or your middle tile there, then everything else will go around that. So here we have the actual game itself, and we can see I've got the pre-shaded version. That's what I went all in on this. So yes, I previewed the game. Yes, it was featured fairly highly on the Kickstarter, but I actually backed the game. I didn't get anything for free from Glass Cannon Unplugged. So here we go. And here we go. The city must survive. In an entirely frozen world, people developed steam-powered technology to oppose the overwhelming cold. You face the task of building the last city on Earth and securing the means necessary for your community to survive. Frostpunk, the board game, is a city survival game where heat means life, and every decision comes with a cost. What decisions will you make to ensure the survival of your society? What will you do when pushed to the limit, and who will you become in the process? So, maintain hope, weigh your choices, build and maintain the city, make the law, and fuel the generator. And it tells you down here that Frostpunk the board game is a cooperative tabletop game for 1 to 4 players, set in a cold post-apocalyptic 19th century world. Survival is only possible due to advanced steam technologies, the pinnacle of which is the generator, the marvel of engineering which provides life-giving heat to what remains of humanity. So there we go, that's kind of what you get there. And you can see the box is a fairly chunky sized box as well. It's nice and thick. Bit of lid lift because, of course, you'll have unpunched cards in there as well. Or unpunched, player pieces in there. So we'll take the cellophane off. Oh. And this is it. This is what I've been waiting a considerable length of time for, is to get this game. So let's just whip that off there. Oh. And here we go. So first thing is going to be the rulebook. Now I know Paul Grogan was involved in the rulebook. I think he wrote the rulebook here. And it is some 43 pages long with various kind of appendices at the back. I think once you get used to playing the game, it's not necessarily a difficult game to play. The choices you make are difficult, but there is a fair bit of rules to go through as well, so I'm looking forward to reading through that. We also have a scenario book as well. So these are the various scenarios you can play through if you like in the game. But I also know that I think that if you get the app, there we go, Rulebook, Paul Grogan of Gaming Rules. If you get the app, there's also an additional game mode on the app as well. There's some action description kind of cards there, some reference cards, as well as telling you what the various advisors do. And then we have the punch cards themselves. So these are all the various building types, etc. You have the central tile for the generator, which has just come out of my thing there. And then we have a number of fairly thick cards. And as you can see there, the thickness is pretty good on these. There we go. So these are all the various building types. Some of these will be replaced by the miniatures expansion that I've got as well. So we have these cards. We also have these cards with the longer ones, which I think are kind of level 2 and 3 maybe. And then we have the exploration tiles as well. So these are the tiles that you're going to place out on the board, and you're going to flip them over and they'll tell you what the various resources are. So every game you play is dynamic because it's ever so slightly different. We have, I think that's the, I don't know, is that the Dreadnought? Is that the train? Absolutely no idea what that is. Because of course I only played the base game. We have some edge tiles here as well that you're going to put around your board, and various tokens that you will use, things like hope and despair and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, here we go, and that's those, and also the tokens to feed the generator. We have this board, which is where you're going to put the various building tiles that you get to access throughout the game. There we go, double-sided there. And then we have the generator board itself. So this will build up into one board. You put this in, this is how you're going to power your generator. So I think there's 2 or 3 of those in there. They will link nicely together and create a nice board to run up alongside here. Here we have your kind of hope and despair, and I don't know what they are. Maybe looks like your various worker types there. And here we go. Yet another board, so lots of boards come with this. Yeah. And this finally, 2, this is where you're going to put the various cards that you have. So your kind of your policy cards, whatever you want to call them. And here we go. This is the board where you're going to track kind of your sickness and your health and your hunger, etc. And that's a 2-piece board. So really, really nice looking thick boards there for you to make up. Let's just take that out. What do we have here? We'll come to the tower in a wee while. We have some bags here. So we got, I think they're hope and maybe despair. I can't remember the exact names of them. We have some little kind of wooden meeply things here as well. Don't know what they do. It looks like you're going to put cubes in that one. On this one, we have some little blue workers here. Can't remember who they are. Maybe engineers. I'm not too sure. We have some brown resources for wood, for trees. We have these things. No idea what they are, but they're like pronged forks, those. We have some brown workers here. And in this little bag, we have some children workers. Yes, because we all need to obviously make sure the children are working. And this is going to be coal. And over here we have the wood as well there. So, various packs of cards here. I'm not going to open them all. We've got some advisor cards here, which is kind of a generator advisor. So, as well as some other cards that tell you what to do, and you'll pull those out of various parts in the game. And some expedition cards as well. Oops. Not a good idea to throw the cards. Nice storage solution. I don't sleeve my cards, I know. So I don't know how it works if you do sleeve your cards. We have some stuff here for the preparation phase, some taller looking cards. Here we go. Your dusk cards as well. So these are the cards that kind of dictate certain events. So let me just take the cellophane off a pack of cards, and we'll have a look at the inside of them and see what we got here. So nice card stock on this. I think some of them will require kind of quite a lot of use. So if you are sleeving your games, sleeving your cards, then it could be useful doing this. These are your lore cards, so you can see very popular stroke, unpopular choice is child labour. Yes, you can send the children to work, child shelter, food additives, heated meals. Crowded quarters, makeshift shelters, new order, lots of different laws that you will pass throughout the game. Let's put those back in there. And then we have these kind of dust cards as well, which are going to say these are events that are going to happen throughout the game that you're going to dictate how your game plays. And of course, with being relatively dynamic, it means that each game is going to play differently. We have some mourning cards and some theft cards, and various actions you take in the game will ask you to pull certain cards out of there as well. And here we have a great picture of the generator on these cards. So let's just have a look inside this deck also and see what's going on here. So 1 second. Oh, I sometimes hate opening decks with cards. They just don't open how you want them to. Let me just grab the knife and cut this from the top. This is all very exciting, I know, and I don't want to ruin the cards themselves. There we go. We're in. We are in. So this is, as I say, this is the base game of it here, and there's plenty of game within the base game. Here we go. That's that card for that. So these are your kind of society cards. Okay. We have here some scenario cards and social dispute cards as well. We have the Ruins of Tesla City, the Storm, reveal and resolve this card. There we go, some more detail on the back of there. I don't want to spoil it for people. The Fall of Winter Homes, these have various scenarios. There's an evacuation, so getting your people out, etc. And then the Arcs and the Final Storm. So they're various scenario-based cards that you've got there, which all look great. So the big thing, the pièce de résistance, is of course this generator here, which is effectively your dice tower, and this has got like a baffling solution in it, if you like. So first of all, just look at the quality on this, and I've seen this in various iterations as the guys at Glass Cannon have kind of progressively changed this. And you're going to drop cubes into this, and how many cubes come out dictate what happens with your shelter. They go out into that little drawer there, and that this baffling solution here will kind of, if you look down it will kind of spin some of them out, spin some of them around. It will make sure that your cubes are not always guaranteed to come out, so you're going to get a different number of cubes out each time. But this is the pre-shaded version, and there we go. That looks absolutely great. Now, if all you got is the base game, you're still in for a great experience. Obviously, all of the various modules and expansions, like a lot of people with Kickstarters, we sometimes overorder. I'm not too sure how long it'll take for me to get through all of these, but that's a really great looking miniature. So 1 second, that goes back in there. Does that go that way? Yes, it does. So put that there, put that back in there. And that, my friends, is everything you get inside the base version of Frostpunk from Glass Cannon Studios. But of course, I didn't just get the base version, did I? No. I got absolutely everything you can get for it, I'd say, apart from the big box. So what we'll do is we'll put all that to one side, and we'll start looking through some of these expansions. So once more through that rulebook, it is some kind of 44 pages long, lots and lots of diagrams, and I know Paul Grogan's writing style makes things very easy for you to kind of work through the rulebook and work out how it should all go. But of course, Paul will also have on his channel, he has the kind of the tutorial videos on there as well. So if your learning style is more video based, make sure you go and check out Gaming Rules, because that will kind of give you the an idea on how to set up the game. So that is the chunky looking box for the base game of Frostpunk, the board game from Glass Cannon Unplugged, designed by Adam Kwapinski. Right, let's have a look at some of these expansions, shall we? Okay, so first up, we're going to look at the Dreadnought expansion. So this is this expansion here, which is Dreadnought is like a huge kind of train type thing here. The Dreadnought expansion contains one plastic miniature. Besides being an awesome collector's piece, it is used for one of the scenarios in the game. It is a purely aesthetic nature and does not in any way influence the mechanics of the game. So you have within the game itself, obviously, the cardboard version of the Dreadnought. This is just the miniature, if you like, that you can use. That purely aesthetic, absolutely no need for it whatsoever. But of course, I ordered it. And let's have a look at the Dreadnought in all its glory. Here we go. Wow, it's kind of a weighty looking miniature. And here we go. Again, pre-shaded. You can see the detailing on this is really, really, really nice. And even though it's pre-shaded, I know, or for some people, I know people will be, some people will be going out there and painting that. I'd say completely aesthetic. You do get the cardboard tiles. You don't need this in any way, shape or form. Am I glad to have it? Of course I am. Of course I am. If based on my kind of preview video of Frostpunk, if I was going in for it, I was going all in for it. So there we go. That's the wonderful aesthetic Dreadnought expansion, pre-shaded, and you don't need it, but if you got it, I think you'll be glad that you have it. Next we have the Frostlander expansion. So just while we're taking the cellophane off this, let's have a look at the Frostlander expansion. There's this little box, and it says, Frostpunk Frostlander expansion contains a set of new game cards that increase replayability and introduces an even harder difficulty level to the game. Exclusive set of wooden pieces, including this expansion, improves the aesthetics of the game. Morning dust cards, dust cards, new lore cards, lore consequences, technology cards, survivalist society cards, 33 wooden pieces for the game boards, and a rule sheet as well. So let's have a look inside here. Here we go. So we have this Frostlander expansion. Tells you exactly what it does and what comes with it, and what you need to do for the setup and the components that are included as well. So they're the different ones, aren't they? Yeah, they're not the same pieces, that may be slightly wrong that I got here. But you can see everything that you get there, the wooden components, etc. Lovely, lovely styling on the components. Nice and thick wooden pieces. Here we go, look at this. And these are to go up on your generator. So you do get cardboard pieces in the main game, but these will allow you to move up wooden pieces on your generator, which look absolutely great. We have some more wooden pieces here for Hope and Despair, or whatever the settings are. Nice, thick, chunky, reminiscent of the Eagle Griffin quality there. We have technology cards and some lore cards and society cards there as well. So that's the Frostlander expansion, which looks really nice. Oh, we're whizzing through those. The main thing will be to see how I can get all of these back in the main box, because I didn't order the big box. Okay, next up, we will look at the Edge of Kinship miniature. As I say, this came through a few months ago, and I've not put it together yet. It's purposefully been sat on my shelf whilst I wait for everything to arrive. This is a purely aesthetic thing. It has absolutely no gameplay value whatsoever, but effectively what you've got is you've got this thing here. So let me just make sure this is the right way up. I think that's the way. Maybe that looks like the base there. So this goes together thusly. Here we go. You've got this dude who's going to be hanging off the cliff somewhere. So let's have a look on that, where that goes. He's going to go somewhere on here. I don't know where just yet. And then we have another one that's hanging onto the back of him as well. So these guys are kind of, they're going to be up and on the cliff edge. There we go. That goes like that. That goes like that. And these guys are going to be hanging off something like that. And then he is also going to be hanging off as well. So he's going to kind of get onto there. And that's how that goes. Something like that. Anyway, I've not really, as I say, had much time to actually have a look at how this plays. Oh, there we go. That's even better. So he's going to be hanging on. Hanging onto the top somehow. Up there. Bum, bum, bum. And then this guy is going to be hanging onto him. So all that's going to need gluing together, purely aesthetic, makes no gameplay whatsoever. But again, just one of the things, if I was going Frostpunk, I wanted all Frostpunk, and that's exactly what I've done here. Is maybe rightly, maybe wrongly, is I've gone absolutely everything on this. Unnecessary, aesthetic, wonderful looking miniature. Looking forward to painting that. That will go on the shelf with everything else. Let's have a look at this poster now then. So this is a poster from the guy that did the artwork. And again, not gameplay related, but I thought this would look nice in my room. And you can see, there we go. Oh, that's the poster from the guy that did the artwork there. You can just see the tower in the back. Really nice looking poster. That'll go in a frame, go on the wall, in the gaming room, in the man cave, for no gameplay no gameplay reasons whatsoever. There we go. Oh, we're whizzing through this, aren't we? Okay, let's have a look at the miniatures expansion. So obviously if you've got the base game, you don't need the miniatures. If you're happy with cardboards, then you've got the all the cardboard stuff. But let's have a look here. This replaces some of the kind of buildings that are in the base game themselves, basically. So rather than having the buildings out, you will have all of the various miniatures. So let's have a look at these. Again, all pre-shaded. So let's have a look at this. So this is, I don't know, is it children? I don't know. We see that? It's a green thing here. We have blue, we have gold as well. We've got these. So I need to work out how these miniatures all go with the game. I've absolutely no idea at this stage. All the various little building bits. So look at this thing. This is up on like something on very tall legs. There, looks great. These little mini generators. Again, all pre-shading. And the pre-shading has really brought the detailing out a lot on these. These look like, I don't know, no idea. And I'm sure they all have a meaning in the game. Now, I think you're still going to have to use some of the cards in the game anyway. Just so you know what everything is. These look like little houses, these are. Little huts. But the pre-shading brings out loads and loads of detail. What's this? That's like some kind of refinery or mine or something like that. You can see the wheel just there. And is this a cookhouse? Maybe this is kind of a cookhouse. Don't know. But again, these will replace some of the stuff that's in the game itself. So how many layers are there? Well, there's that there, where you can see all of those pre-shaded miniatures. And we also have this layer here as well. Let's have a look. So here we have the beacon. So that's going to kind of go up and go out. That's one of the things in the game. There we go. Oh, I think the beacon kind of goes on there and goes on there, and you'll put that out on your game. There we go. And you can have a beacon. I think that's in the first scenario, is that you get to kind of move the beacon out. So these are all completely aesthetic. If you've got the base game, you do not need these. You can get these shaded or pre-shaded. I think you can still order them from the Glass Cannon Unplugged web store. Don't know if you can get pre-shaded on there. I went pre-shaded because if I was going for Frostpunk, I was going all in on Frostpunk. And here we go, some of the buildings. Now, whether I use them or not, I don't know. I think obviously you get them with the intention of using them. But maybe I really enjoy the aesthetic of what comes in the actual game. Who knows? Who knows? But we'll see as time goes on how I get to use these as I play the game. Here we go. Wonderful. Really nice detailing on these. And I say the pre-shading just brings everything out. Makes it all pop. So there's quite a few of them, as you can see, quite a few of them to go at here. We do have, thankfully, we have, there we go, a sheet which tells you where everything goes back in the box. So once you've used them, you can pop them all away nicely because, of course, we want to be able to do that. We want to be able to do that. So that's going to go back on there. That's going to go... Oh, there is two of these. 1 second. There we go. So that will go on the bottom, just there. And we'll go on the top. That will go there. And we have everything there for the miniatures expansion of Frostpunk. Good bit of box fart there as we put that back on. Okay. Final thing to look at then is the resources expansion. Again, pre-shaded version. And this just replaces some of the wooden meeples and tokens that we saw in the base game. Again, completely unnecessary. This is just all about kind of blinging your game up, if you like. So they have no gameplay value because everything you get in the base game absolutely works. So we have trees, landscape, and resources. A set of beautiful plastic resources, bringing the ultimate look of Frostpunk's last city on Earth to the tabletop. So there we go. Here's the resources expansion. Let's have a look at these. So we have some trees to start off with. A big box for these. So let's have a look at these trees. You can see in the base game you've got the wooden trees, but these plastic ones will really add some kind of bling to the game for you. We have some coal. So you look, piles of coal here. I don't know if my camera's going to pick this up too well. But piles of coal rather than the kind of little black wooden cubes. Perfectly serviceable. If you've got the wooden cubes, that's absolutely fine. You know, you don't need all this, as I keep saying. But it's really nice to have, obviously, if you've got the wherewithal to kind of spend the extra on this. And these are the wood piles here. There's more stuff to own, more stuff to store. But if you're happy doing it, then of course it's the right thing to do. What do we have here? These are like tiny little generator things. Don't know what these resources are. These are special resources. I can't remember their name. But there we go. You can see. Again, pre-shaded. Looks great. Nice quality print and plastic on them. And then finally we have these, which I don't know. I should really know what these are. But it's a while since I last played Frostpunk. But yeah, you can see these just here. There we go. That's picking out some of the detail on those. So big box for the resources, but you do get everything in there. Put that back on. That needs to go back with that. So Frostpunk as a game is kind of big in scope, basically, and it's really nice to have all this stuff to bling it out. We can see some of the stuff. We got the color-coded, detailed miniatures of resources for realistic presentation of the game's resources. 30 beautifully sculpted trees for immersive scenery. It looks really, really nice. We've got the wood there. You've got some of the other stuff that's with the game as well. So absolutely stunning and beautiful. And that, my friends, is everything that you get for Frostpunk, the board game, I say, other than the big box, the big storage box, which I'm certain I ordered. Maybe it'll come separately. Maybe I didn't order it. But that's absolutely everything that you get for Frostpunk, the board game from Glass Cannon Unplugged, designed by Adam Kwapinski. I had so much fun previewing this, and the game I played at UKGE. I'm just looking forward to diving into the absolute final game now. Phew, there we go. There's quite a bit of stuff and quite a bit of plastic there. And there we go. That's everything for Frostpunk, the board game from Glass Cannon Unplugged. I am so looking forward to diving into this later. I've got a bit of time, obviously, over the rest or remaining Christmas break. And what better than in a period of festive cheer and happiness than to immerse myself in a game which is all about cold and survival and hunger. Really looking forward to seeing how the final version plays. Can't wait to get it onto my table, set everything up. I know it's going to be a table hog. I know it's going to take me a while to refamiliarize myself with the rules, and also learn some of the rules that have been changed as well since I last played it. But I am so looking forward to this. It is potentially for 2022 my most anticipated Kickstarter that I was waiting to arrive. It's arrived right at the tail end, so it won't be on my top 10 list because, of course, I won't really have time to kind of play this a number of times before I do my top 10 list in the next week or so. But it will, I should imagine, if everything pans through as it did when I previewed the game, when I played it at UKGE, then I should imagine it will feature on my 2023 list in about a year's time. But yeah, that's everything that you get for Frostpunk, the board game, minus the big box from Glass Cannon Unplugged. Really looking forward to delving into this. I hope if you had your notifications through that your copy arrives soon. I know it's been out in Europe and in America for the best part of the month now, but the UK shipments are just starting to arrive. So for everybody that's backed it, keep an eye out for those emails from DPD or FedEx, wherever it's coming from for you guys, because I don't think you're going to be disappointed. And I will be looking, if I were you guys, be looking out for a review on my channel on this in kind of the next 4 to 6 weeks. I need enough time to really immerse myself within the game. It's a fairly long game to play, and with it being fairly arduous as well, it's not something that you want to do time and time again. But there we go. That's everything you get for Frostpunk, the board game from Glass Cannon Studios, or Glass Cannon Unplugged, designed by Adam Kwapinski. My name's Mark. This is Not Board Gaming. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Check out our other videos. And one final thought. If you can't find anyone else to play with, there's nothing wrong with playing with yourselves. Until next time, bye.